I can palate it from a mile away. All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the Re-Entry Buzz here. We are season 10, episode 8, and Cole and I here, as always, have a blind pour in front of us. Have no idea what it is, but we are going to sniff it, sip it, tell you how much we'd pay for it right now. You ready, Cole?
I'm ready. Let's do this. Not what I expected of a smell. Not what I expected.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
I was like, this is obviously an Indian whiskey, and I'm not getting those notes now.
Good. All right, sip. Here we go.
Yeah, I know what this is.
Why, Cole? Why?
I know what this is. I'm going to tie this season, baby. I have a gift, Brian. A gift of telling the difference between certain whiskeys of a certain type of whiskey. I almost gave it away. I almost said, like, I can tell the differences between Indian whiskeys.
I don't have that gift. However, break your mind away from what you think this is, and just purely on the nose and palate alone, no matter how far off in price it is from what you think this is, how much would you pay for this purely on the sentiment of how it tastes?
90.
Ooh, okay. I think I would slightly take the over. I think I wouldn't have heartburn paying maybe 110. I'll say 110 for this.
I like that. It's a good pour. I'm digging it. But we'll take it to break and we'll see who guessed, or what we guessed, and what we noted and guessed.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So we did our best here. I'm going to make Cole go first on his notes. Tell me what you got.
Let's do this. On the nose, I said, well, not what I expected based on the color of this pour. This is smoky. Isla smoky for sure. It's malty and smoky just on the nose. Palate, I said tobacco smoke and malty for sure. This does read Isla, but it 100% does not read Ardbeg, which is one of my favorite of the Isla. A little too dry for Ardbeg. Ardbeg is typically sweeter than this. This is Laphroaig. I can smell it from a mile away, I said, on the palate.
Nice.
Finish, I said, beautiful but slightly dry, smoky pour. To be honest, the reason I'm in the Laphroaig lore train is because this tastes Laphroaig, but it's very dark in color, which reminds me of a sherry. But I'm not getting many sherry notes. But the color leads me to believe that this is sherry finished Isla.
It was funny. I forgot what I guessed there for a sec, and I thought that I also guessed Laphroaig lore, and I was like, and then I looked down at what I guessed, and I was like, oh, okay, phew, never mind. Yeah, but I liked when you said you could smell it from a mile away on the palate. That was good.
Yeah.
I can palate it from a mile away.
So one thing I will say, I will bet all my points for season 10 that this is Laphroaig out of all. I might not be lore, but it's Laphroaig.
Nice. Yeah, and he's probably right when Bryan actually also guessed what he guessed. Nice. So let me go through my notes first, at least. For nose, and I'm glad you mentioned the color, because this is impressively dark color. I thought we were in a seriously aged bourbon territory, or a super finished something else territory.
Yeah.
But when I brought it up to my nose, then as I was thinking that, I went whoo, and I said, holy Isla, as my nose knows. Yep. Holy Isla, Band-Aids and iodine. This is just the epitome of Isla Scotch.
Iodine is a great note.
Palate, I said it is impressively oaky. It is a mellowed Isla Scotch. I got a nice like toasted oak thing. I think the thing that impresses me the most with this, I guess, to round out the finish notes, common Isla characteristics on the finish. The thing that impresses me the most, though, is that the common Isla notes that are typically off-putting are rounded out very, very well with this. Where if you wanted to introduce someone to an Isla Scotch, you might give them this because it tastes fairly low proof. And it with oakiness, maybe potentially higher age, it rounds out some off-putting Isla notes that are typically off-putting for people who don't really like Islas very much. So overall, I was impressed with the mellowness of this. And I will go first on my guesses now.
Go for it.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Type I said Scotch. Secondary grain, I said Nope Skis. For both brand and distillery, I said Lafroig, because Lafroig is the real, like, when I think Lafroig, I think tire fire in my mind. And this is not abrasive, offensively tire fire, because this seems very mellowed to me, but it has those, you said dry earlier. I really liked that because it is a dry, briny, smoky that I've never tasted anything from anyone else other than Lafroig that tastes like this. Yeah. So for both brand and distillery, I said Lafroig. For proof, I could kind of go either way on this. I said 100 on proof because I was afraid. I wanted to hedge. I was afraid that this might be like a cask strength, but the cask strength is only like 103-ish or something. So I went with 100. For age, I think it's a little higher, so I went with 12 on age. Nice. For finished, I said no. I said, and this is what came to mind earlier, Lafroig Elements. I'm pretty sure it was a Sluggifish Patrick share. Nice. Not even sure it's in the pool, but I feel like this is a special edition Lafroig. So the first thing that came to mind was Lafroig Elements 2.0 to be exact. For score, I said B+. This is plus. Yeah, so it is very oaky. It is a tamed Isla. B+ for me is a little bit above clearly stands out. B is clearly stands out, and I think that this clearly stands out even more so. I think it's impressive beyond just clearly standing out.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, here are my guesses. Isla Scotch as well, but I wrote Scotch. Good. For the record, on the secondary grain, I did say NA, not Nope Skis, but they're equivalent. Brand and distillery, I also said Lafroig, but I put all my eggs in one basket and went with Lore for this one. So I said 96 proof, which is the Lore proof. Age, I said 7, which is the suspected Lore minimum age statement, but it's not official. Finished, I said yes, sherry baby. Ooh. And then the bottle, I said Lafroig Lore. Score, I give it a 9.1. I give this at least an A- though.
Yeah, this is super. I totally agree with the score and everything. This is good.
All right, you ready to find out it's Lafroig Lore?
Shut up. Yes.
Me too. Oh, it's not Lafroig Lore.
What'd you say for age?
You might have won based on, well, who knows what the proof is? We don't know what the proof is, but this is Lafroig 10 sherry finish, which is very similar to, but we were both right on Lafroig. We'll find out. This could be anyone's game at this point. We'll send it to break and we'll find out on the other side.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So we tallied up the scores, and it was Lafroig. Yes. It was a scratch with no secondary grain. Yes. We both knew it was Lafroig. Yes. It was proof. 96. Cole nailed that one.
Nailed.
Age we were a little split on. Cole was on the young side, I was on the high side, but it was 10 years aged. Lafroig 10 sherry finish, which Cole also got with the sherry finish.
Which you were closer.
Closer on
age. You said 12 and it was only 10, but I said 7. So I got 2 points. You got 3 points.
Closer by 1, thanks. Cole was thinking Lafroig lore. I was thinking elements. Nonetheless, we both thought this was a fantastic pour, but Cole did win 34-27. Did I mention the proof? This is 96 proof. Cole nailed it. So congrats to you, sir. Lafroig lore, though. Have you owned a bottle of lore?
Yep.
Tell me what you think.
I got
about
a bottle of lore
in
downstairs.
general.
Actually, shout out to Miles Ferguson who gifted me said bottle.
Ooh, nice. You know, I thought that I'm a big unpeated Isla guy. I want the bold, intense flavor, but I don't want an offensive level of peat. So I'd kind of written off Lafroig in my mind as Lafroig is just a little too much, but I'll say this has turned out to be a pour that super impressed me and I really liked. And it is my own bottle, in fact, the Lafroig 10 sherry. So if you're ever interested in a mild step into what some Isla iodine Band-Aid stuff might be like, this is a great first step. Highly recommend.
100%. I like it. And I like that we're tied for the season. 4-4 out of episode 8. So we're tied. And it all comes down to the next 2 episodes. If either of us win the next 2, then we win the season. But if either of us lose, you know how it goes. You can do the math. So I'm excited. This is great. But any other words before we close it out, Brian?
I just I started off this season strong, and now I'm starting to feel a little unstable. So we'll see if I keep it together.
Yeah, keep it together. But we'll see. It might even come down to a tiebreaker. If each of us win and lose the next 2 episodes, then we'll do a tiebreaker, which is rare but awesome. So hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next time on Season 10, Episode 9 of Chill Filters, The Re-Entry Buzz. Sugar Bear! You got a ring pop! Oh, my baby!
And Daddy!
Look, it's Mr. Bryan!
And Daddy! I ate all of my dinner.
You did so well! You ate all your dinner and you earned your ring pop.